It is Friday, August 1st, 2025, and we're now 4-0 in our last four chairman plays on my premium page. And the good news is I'll have I have another chairman play going off here today for Friday. That play is already posted and ready for access. And if you end up becoming a chairman member, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. Going to be included with your membership. Of course, if you want to access all of my premium selections, you may want to think about signing up for my full access, all-inclusive Gold Club membership. Gold Club members get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my free pick video here today for Friday, August 1st, 2025. Happy Friday to you. Congratulations. You made it. The weekend's finally here. Of course, if you're joining me for the first time here today, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. And if you don't need access to all of my premium plays, but maybe you could use like one a day, my daily best play is going to run you just $1.99 for 30 days worth of access. The math works out to be just 6 cents a day. Now, I currently have over 2,600 members who are signed up and active on my premium page. And with that, folks, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the Braves at the Reds, 12:40 Eastern first pitch. Cincinnati's minus 135, totals 9 runs. Brady Singer on the bump for the Reds, Bryce Elder for Atlanta. Now, Elder's just 4-7 with an ERA of 6.29. And as a staff, these Atlanta pitchers have definitely had some control issues. They're in the bottom 10 in walks allowed per game. And they're facing a Cincy team who actually plays their best baseball at home. They've got an 8-win Brady Singer on the bump. Of course, Elliot De La Cruz, bunch of stolen bases and runs batted in. TJ Friedl, solid on-base percentage. I like the Reds, minus 135, over 9 runs. Orioles, Cubs, 2:20 Eastern start. Chicago's minus 145, total 7.5. Cade Horton for the Cubs, Trevor Rogers for Baltimore. And even though Rogers has thrown pretty well, the O's still play their worst baseball on the road. They really have not pitched well in their travels. Baltimore's allowing nearly double-digit hits a game on the mound, and they're actually facing one of the more explosive lineups in the game. Chicago's currently a top 3 run-producing team. Pete Crow Armstrong with 27 homers. Seiya Suzuki leads the roster and runs batted in. Of course, as a team, the Cubbies have won nearly 70% of their interleague home games. Now, 3 out of Chicago's last 4 at Wrigley Field got over the total, 8-2 to the over in their last 10 at any location. Meanwhile, Baltimore games went 60% to the over in their last 10 themselves. I like the Cubs, minus 145, over 7.5. Tigers, Phillies, 6:45 East. Philadelphia's $1.55, totals 8.5. Ranger Suarez for the Phils, Jack Flaherty for Detroit. Now, Flaherty's punched out 137 hitters, currently has a 1.28 whip. Of course, as a staff, these Detroit pitchers have certainly racked up the strikeouts. They're now in the top 10 in punch-outs per game. Of course, at the plate, the Tigers are currently on a 4-game winning streak, racked up 34 total runs during that short span. And they're facing a Phillies team who dropped 3 out of their last 4 themselves. They gave up 22 runs during that short span. And as good as Suarez has been, well, the Phils have not pitched all that great at the bank. They're now in the bottom 10 in runs allowed per game at home. I like the Tigers, plus 1.5, getting the job done for some run line cash. Brewers, Nationals, 6:45 East. Milwaukee's $1.45, totals 9. Jose Quintana for Milwaukee. Mitchell Parker for Washington. Now, Parker's got double-digit losses on the year, ERA just about in the fives. These Nationals pitchers have definitely hurt these guys a bunch. They're allowing nearly double-digit hits a game at home, bottom three in runs allowed, and they're facing a Milwaukee lineup on the other side who's definitely been crushing the baseball on the road. They're amongst the highest road-scoring teams in Major League Baseball. Christian Yelich leads the clubhouse in homers and ribbies. Sal Frelick with 17 stolen bases, on-base percentage of .350. Now, 6 out of the Brewers' last 10 outings did get over the total. 7-3 to the over in their last 10 meetings with the Nationals. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. I like the Brewers, minus 145, over 9 runs. Royals, Blue Jays, 707 East. Toronto's $1.50, total 7.5. Kevin Gausman for the Blue Jays. Michael Wacha for Kansas City. And as good as Wacha's pitched this year, the Royals don't really want to score for the guy. They actually don't want to score for any of their pitchers. The righty comes into Friday's matchup with a 4-9 record on the year. And like I said, the Royals have gotten little run support out of their sluggers for the most part. KC's averaging just 3.6 runs a game as a team. They're facing a Blue Jays pitching staff who tends to throw well at home. Toronto's allowing just 7.9 hits a game at Rogers Center, top 5 in strikeouts per game on the mound. And starting pitcher Kevin Gausman's been a solid contributor to that. 122 strikeouts, 1.10 whip. I like the Blue Jays minus 160, getting the job done for some money line cash. Astros, Red Sox, 7:10 Eastern start. Houston's minus 135, totals 8 runs. Hunter Brown for the Stros, Garrett Crochet possible for Boston. And if Crochet does end up getting the nod, he's 12-4 on the year. Boston has played really good at Fenway. The Bo Sox are 34-21 on their own field, definitely pounding the baseball there. This Bo Sox lineup averages 5.3 runs a game in their own stadium. Willie Abreu leads the clubhouse in homers. Trevor Story with the most runs batted in. Of course, as a team, the Bo Sox got the W in 5 out of their last 7. Now, total-wise, the Sox averaged 5.2 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Houston. They've definitely hit these Astros pitchers well. And, of course, no real surprise, the over cashed in 70% of those head-to-head gatherings. So, once again, if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. I like the Red Sox plus $1.15, over 8. Twins, Guardians, 7:10 Eastern start. Cleveland's $1.20, totals 8 runs. Gavin Williams for Cleveland, Joe Ryan for Minnesota. Now, Ryan's got double-digit wins on the year. It's a 10-5 record coming into Friday's start. He's also got an ERA in the 2s, along with a sub-1 whip. And these Minnesota pitchers have shown excellent control this season. They're walking fewer batters per 9 than any other staff. And they're facing a Cleveland squad who typically struggles at the dish. They're averaging just 7.4 hits a game in the box, bottom 5 in runs per contest. And out of the Guardians' last 10 meetings with the Twins, they've definitely struggled with Minnesota pitching. The Guardians averaged just 3.4 runs a game during that time frame. And no real surprise, the under cashed in 80% of those 10 head-to-head meetings. Give me the Twins plus $1, under 8. Yankees, Marlins, 7:10 East. New York's minus 165, total 7.5. Carlos Rodon for New York. Jansen Junk for Miami. And as good as Junk's been on the hill, well, the Marlins do play their worst baseball at Lone Depot Park. They've got a losing record at home, and they tend to pitch poorly there. Of course, at the moment, the Marlins are in the bottom 10 in runs allowed per game. And they're facing a Yankee lineup who's definitely hit it well in their travels. The Bombers are averaging over 9.2 hits a game on the road. And no real surprise here, this is a top 3 run-scoring team. Now, 2 out of the Bombers' last 3 road games did get over the total. 7-3 to the over in their last 10 at any location. Give me New York minus 165, over 7.5. All right, next matchup, Giants, Mets, 7:10 Eastern start. New York's minus 135, totals 8. David Peterson for the Mets, Robbie Ray for San Francisco. And as good as Ray's been, well, the Giants continue to struggle as a team. They're currently on a 6-game skid, and they averaged under 2.1 runs a game during that time frame. And no real surprise, the Giants are a bottom 3 hit-producing team. They're facing a Mets pitching staff who's definitely been tough to hit against at Citi Field. They're limiting opposing sluggers to just 3.5 runs a game in Flushing, Queens. And starting pitcher David Peterson comes into Friday's matchup with 101 strikeouts and an ERA of 2.83. Now, 3 out of the Mets' last 4 at home did fall under the total, 7-3 to the under in their last 10 at any location. I like the Mets minus 135, under 8. Dodgers Rays 735 East. The Dodgers are minus $1.40, totals 9. Clayton Kershaw for Los Angeles, Shane Baz for Tampa Bay. Now, Baz comes into Friday's game with 7 losses and a 4.61 ERA. Of course, as a team, the Rays have really struggled after the break. They've lost 8 out of their last 10 ball games, 58 total runs allowed during that span. And they're facing a Dodger club who's definitely played well against the American League. They've got a winning record in their interleague games. 5.2 runs a game they're averaging at the plate. Now, 7 out of their last 10 meetings with the Rays did get over the total. 5.7 runs per contest they averaged during that stretch. I like the Dodgers minus 140, over 9. Pirates Rockies 8:10 Eastern Star. Pittsburgh's minus 155, totals 11.5. Andrew Heaney for the Bucks, Antonio Senzatella for Colorado. And as much as we've shit on Senzatella this year, today might be the day he has a pretty good showing. He's facing a Pirates lineup who definitely struggles getting base runners on the road. The Bucks average just 7.1 hits a game in their travels. They're amongst the lowest run-producing lineups in Major League Baseball. And because of that lack of run support, starting pitcher Andrew Heaney comes into today's matchup with a 5-9 record on the year. Now, 8 out of the Pirates' last 10 outings did stay under the total. Colorado with unders in their last 4 straight at Coors Field. I like the Rockies plus 1.5, under 11.5 runs. White Sox Angels 938 East. The Angels are minus 135, totals 9 runs. Tyler Anderson for the Angels, Adrian Hauser for Chicago. Now, the White Sox are just 16-37 on the road this year, really not pitching great away from home. They're walking more batters a game in their road trips than any other staff besides one. They're also in the bottom 3 in strikeouts per game on the mound. They're facing an Angel team who got the W in 4 out of their last 6. They still have a winning record at home. Taylor Ward, 25 homers, 78 RBIs. Zach Neto, 21 stolen bases, on-base percentage of .326. Now, 6 out of the Angels' last 10 outings did get over the total. White Sox games went 7-3 to the over in their last 10. I like the Angels minus 135, over 9. Cardinals Padres 940 Eastern start. San Diego's $1.60, totals 8. Nick Pivetta for the Pods, Matt Liberatore for St. Louis. Now, Liberatore's just 6-8 on the year. Cardinals dropped 6 out of their last 9 games. And out of 54 total contests away from Busch Stadium, the Redbirds have a win percentage of just .425 in those road games. And they're going to play at a place that's been tough to score runs at. Visiting teams are averaging just 3.3 runs a game at Petco Park this season. Of course, these Padres pitchers are also limiting opposing sluggers to just 7.1 hits a game on their own diamond. And we could see more of the same out of starter Nick Pivetta. 10-3 record, ERA in the 2s. The righty's also fanned 131 batters and currently has a sub-1 whip. 7 out of the Padres' last 10 outings did fall under the total. Cardinal games went 8-2 to the under in their last 10. I like the Padres minus 160, under 8. Diamondbacks Athletics 1005 East. The A's are minus $1.25, totals 9.5. Jacob Lopez for the A's, Merrill Kelly for Arizona. Now, Kelly's just 1 win shy of double digits on the year, ERA of 3.22. But even if Kelly blows chunks, he is backed by a top 5 run-scoring lineup. And that could mean bad news for the A's today. They've definitely pitched poorly at Sutter Health Park. They're allowing over 5.8 runs a game in Sacramento, bottom 3 in hits allowed at home. The starting pitcher Jacob Lopez comes into today's matchup with a 3-6 record on the year, ERA in the 4s. Of course, as a team, the A's are just 22-32 as the home team, .333 win percentage in their interleague home games. I like Arizona plus 105, getting the job done for some plus money cash. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. Rangers-Mariners, 10:10 Eastern start. Seattle's minus $1.75, totals 8 runs. Logan Gilbert for the Mariners, Jack Leiter for Texas. Now, Leiter's got 7 wins on the year and averaging nearly a strikeout an inning. Of course, these Ranger pitchers have definitely been tough to hit against this year. They're limiting opposing sluggers to just 7.4 hits a game. And believe it or not, the Mariners have actually had all kinds of problems hitting at home. Seattle's averaging just 7.1 hits a game in their own building. They're a bottom 5 run-scoring team at home. Now, 2 out of the M's last 3 on their own diamond fell under the total. 8-2 to the under in their last 10 at any location. Give me the Rangers plus 1.5, under 8 runs. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. Give me the Reds minus 135 over 9. Cubs minus 145 over 7.5. We're 4-0 in our last 4 chairman plays on my premium page. Detroit plus 1.5. Brewers minus 145 over 9. Blue Jays minus 160. Red Sox plus $1.15 over 8. Twins plus $1 under 8 runs. Yankees minus 165 over 7.5. New York Mets minus 135 under 8. Dodgers minus 140 over 9. Rockies plus 1.5 under 11.5 runs. Angels minus 135 over 9. Padres minus 160 under 8. Diamondbacks plus 105, and give me the Rangers plus 1.5 under 8 runs. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. And just a friendly reminder, if you do end up signing up for a membership, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. Going to be included with your membership. But most importantly, folks, got to thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, folks, happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page.